Housing workshop today. So I would ask if folks can take a seat. Our team is going to be here throughout the duration of the event. We want to make sure you get all the information that you came here to get. Thank you, I appreciate that. So, good evening again. My name is Jeffery Young. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the city council member representing the 5th Council District. So that includes parts of Philly, Center City, and we go over to Fishtown as well. And tonight I'm going to welcome you to our housing workshop. We have been doing these workshops since we've come to office in 2024. We've been doing these workshops across our district to talk to community members and to bring them information directly to them related to housing. We also do one on just quality of life issues as well. But tonight's focus is housing because, and I wanted to bring it to this neighborhood because, just a few months ago, this building that we're in right now was proposed to be housing, right? And so I just want people to know that there is a key interest in this community regarding housing on all levels, whether it's affordable housing, market rate housing, of the like. If you look around this community, you see the type of development activity that's happening. And we just wanted to prepare members of the community for what's happening now. And so we have a number of city departments and our private partners who are here that can talk to you about your housing issues. So we have the Department of Licensing and Inspection here. We have the Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation here, which is the city's primary housing agency. The Office of Property Assessment is here. We talk to those folks about your property assessments. The Department of Revenue is here to talk about tax issues and others. We also had some of our real estate partners in the room. We have Chavetta Property, who is here that can talk to you about Turn the Key and other housing programs. And I also have a good friend of mine who's Desiree McDuffie, who's a licensed realtor, who can talk to you about some of the services she can provide, some of the things that she can advise for our community when it comes to real estate. I always tell everyone, As an attorney myself, my primary practice is real estate. I advise people anytime you're dealing with real estate to get representation, whether that is a real estate agent, an attorney, but someone who understands what those documents mean and someone that can protect your interests, whether you're buying or selling, whether there is an issue with a neighbor, get representation so you understand the details of what's happening. That is, it's solid advice that I give to everyone. Um, and I briefly touched on this school right here. We wanted to have this meeting here at this school because of the proposal to close this school for housing, affordable housing. But when you look around this neighborhood, there's a number of city-owned lots that are in this neighborhood as well. And when we have our partner come up from Chevetta to talk about turnkey, there are a number of different options that we can explore for this community on these publicly owned lots. Turnkey is our home ownership program that the city has. But there are other opportunities to develop affordable rental housing. If the lots are large enough that we can find the right partner to do that and the right funding opportunities to do that as well. So we just want to introduce those ideas to this community and as we continue to flesh out plans for the coming months. So I don't want this neighborhood to feel like this is going to be the first time in a couple of months they hear about some housing opportunities that may be developing to this neighborhood. As I mentioned, you walk 2 blocks east, 2 blocks west. It's kind of different neighborhoods, but things are rapidly changing. Things are rapidly changing. We want to prepare the community for those changes. And again, I think we have the right departments who are here. The Register of Wills is here. Excuse me. I cannot leave the Register of Wills out of this conversation, which is a very, very important part of our community maintaining our wealth. And so we're going to hear such a short, from them as well. So we put together, I think, a panel of people that can answer your questions that you may have regarding housing, regarding real estate, and just overall quality of life in your community. And so with that, we have some presentations that we're going to start with. I would like to call up the representative from the Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation to provide us with an overall of what their agency does and some of the services and programs that they can help you with. So some of the programs like adaptive modification, basic systems repair, there's some loan programs that are out there that the city has that are very, very reasonable rates. So let's get that information and let's give her a round of applause as she comes to provide them the resources. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Shelby Williams. I am the Community Engagement Officer for Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation, also known as PHDC. So I'm going to do a high overview of the programs and services that PHDC offers. We do have our brochures on the table over here, my left, your right, that you can pick up to learn more about what we do. So again, I may not tell you everything about the program because I am doing a high overview to allow time for others to present their programs and services also. So just bear with me here a little bit. Let's see. All the programs and services for PHDC are part of Mayor Sherelle Parker's home plan. There are 12 programs in the home plan. Of the 12, 7 are managed by Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation. I'm going to talk to you tonight about one of our programs, our first-time homebuyer program, which is called Turn the Key. Bear with me here a little bit. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about Philly First Home. Philly First Home is a first-time home buyer grant, which helps a first-time home buyer, which is defined as someone who has never owned a home or whose name has not been on a deed in the last 3 years. That is the definition of a first-time home buyer. So if you owned a home in 2000, 22 or 2023, and sold it in January or February, then you would be considered a first-time home buyer now. So because that's the past 3 years. It's a first-time home buyer grant of 6% or $10,000, whichever is the least, based on the cost of the home. It is an income-driven program, so it goes by income, not by age or anything like that. You can use this to purchase any home in the city of Philadelphia. If you can income qualify, the property has to be a single family home or a duplex. Condominiums and triplexes are not a part of the Philly First Home Grant. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be a first time home buyer. Also with first time home buyers, we have the Turn the Key program. Turn the Key is homes, new homes built on vacant city-owned land. So just so you know, whatever was standing there before, the homes that are being built are going to be the size of those homes, right? We are building now, the goal is to build 2,000 homes on city-owned vacant land. These homes are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. They're all electric, they're energy efficient. They go for $280,000. We've turned the key. You can use the Philly First Home Grant. The maximum amount of $10,000 is what you would receive for the purchase of that home. With Turn the Key, you can also use a housing choice voucher to purchase your home. One of the things I want to remind people is that when we talk about a school district, we have to be mindful that real estate taxes support our school district. So people want to move into Montgomery County, Delaware County, Chester County for a better school system. Well, if we had a stronger real estate tax base, we could support our school district and help our students, help our kids have better schools. Everybody here with the school in Philly, I did. I think it did well by me, right? So we want to be mindful of that our real estate taxes support the school district of Philadelphia. Again, Turn the Key is for first-time home buyers. You must complete home ownership counseling with PHDC. You can take housing counseling with a city-funded housing counseling agency. And the reason why you would want to do that is that that agency could possibly help you get additional grants for the purchase of your home. But you have to take our housing counseling. It is mandatory. And you can't enter into an agreement of sale and then want to take the housing counseling with us. So you have to take housing counseling with PHDC. That is mandatory in order to qualify for Turn the Key. Maximum household income for one is $85,900. Maximum households for a family of 3, maximum household income is $110,500. Doesn't mean you have to make that amount. It just means that's the maximum household income. I'm going to tell you, I'm saying to show you because I'm used to a presentation, right? I want to tell you how the Turn the Key mortgage buy down works. So the Turn the Key homes go for how much did I say? $280,000. With Turn the Key, a buyer who is purchasing a home at $280,000 receives the maximum mortgage buy down. It can be referred to as a soft mortgage, a soft loan, a mortgage buy down, or a non-serviceable loan. That's because you're not making any payments on that money when you make your mortgage payment. It is like a 0% interest loan, okay? So with that $280,000, you get the $75,000 mortgage buy down. How much is the home now? $205,000. I'm being easy quiet, baby. And with the Philly First Home Grant of how much? $10,000. That cost of the home is how much now? 90, yeah. 195. 195. So on average, we have about 30 Turn the Key lenders. On average, I'm not saying all, but on average, our Turn the Key mortgage lenders have about $10,000 in first-time home buyer grants, right? So if your lender has about $10,000, that brings the cost of your home down to $185,000, right? That's what your mortgage is going to be based on. Your mortgage payment is going to be based on the mortgage, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's called MIDI. Sometimes you may hear it referred to as principal, interest, taxes, insurance. That's called bidding, right? So either one is the same thing, right? So, again, you're not making any mortgage payments on that. So because of that reason, there is a 20-year deed restriction placed on the home. If you do need to sell the home for whatever reason before that 20-year period, you can. You just have to pay back whatever you received in your mortgage by date. You could go to our website to start an application. There is required documentation that we need: pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, W-2s. But that's how you get the process started. I just want to share, my daughter purchased her turnkey home last year. It did take her a while to get through the process because she had some things that she needed to take care of. But she bought her turnkey home for $265,000. Her house came with a $60,000 mortgage buy down. With grants, remember I said going to other housing counseling agencies. With grants, she received $45,000. She went to the mortgage table with $105,000.
Very nice.
Right? So just keep that in mind. Home ownership is achievable for anyone and everyone. It does take some discipline, but with turnkey, we suggest that you have $3,000 to $5,000 saved. And you can have a credit score in the area of 620. We have lenders that can work with you a little lower, but the lower the credit score, the higher the interest. So the higher your credit score, let me tell you right now, those apps on your phone, take them off, they don't count, okay? I'm going to talk to you about our adaptive modification program. Anybody here know about AMP? So adaptive modification, we make modifications to the home for folks who have physical disabilities, someone who's physically challenged, right? So we will put in walking showers that are big enough for wheelchairs, stair escalators that go up the steps. We do wheelchair lifts. We make modifications to kitchens, and in some instances, we put in half baths on the first floor. Now, let me just say this: every home in the city of Philadelphia sometimes can't bear the weight of the equipment specifically for wheelchair lifts, but just know those options are available. This is a great program because it's also available to renters. So you can rent, but the landlord must be in compliance with having a rental license, the taxes, the water, or any of those city services, PGW. They must be either current with the bill or in a payment agreement. Okay. So again, high overview what AMP is. BSRP. Anybody here know about BSRP? No. Okay. BSRP is our basic systems repair program. Anybody here watch HGTV, Property Brothers, all that stuff? BSRP is not there. Just to let you know. Right? It's not there. We take care of the basic systems of the home. That's roofing, plumbing, electrical. I'm missing something. Roofing, plumbing, electrical. Some carpentry do for the home. And heat. We don't repair heaters. We replace heaters, right? So in order, if that's the case, ECA comes out and inspects the heater, and if it needs to be replaced, they refer you to PHDC if you qualify, and we replace the heater. We don't repair. Let me say this to you right now. Everyone in here, if you have a heater, especially if it was giving you problems last winter, now is the time to get it serviced. Do not wait until October, November, and December and want to call and say your heater's broken. Right? Now's the time to do it during the off season, to get any repairs done, to get it cleaned and tuned, all those kinds of things, right? If you receive the Light Heat or Crisis Grant, you should be eligible to apply for ECA for their Clean and Tune program to come out and check your heater for you. Basic systems repairs does not do handyman repairs, so we don't do little faucet trips, don't repair doorbells and things of that nature. If you're interested in applying for any BSRP or AMP, you can always give us a call. You can come into our office Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m. Or you could go to Councilmember Young's office. His office can assist you with completing the application for BSRP or AMP. I want to let you know we do have a wait list of about 9 months to a year. Everyone in our system is considered an emergency. right? This is why we're there. Everyone is considered an emergency. The only items that are expedited is if you had a violation through L&I, water department, or PGW. Other than that, everyone is a priority, okay? So everyone in our system, but unfortunately, because we have about 4,000 to 5,000 people in our system, it does take time to get through get through the process. I'm going to talk to you also about a loan program we have for homeowners. It's called Restore, Repair, Renew. It is a 10-year loan with a 3% interest rate. It is for, you can use it for the health, safety, weatherization, accessibility, or quality of life improvements. The loans range from $2,500 to $50,000. It is interest only the first year on what you draw down. So for instance, you take out a loan for $50,000, you only use $25,000 that first year. You're only paying interest year one on the $25,000. After that, you're paying interest on the entire amount. This is a great program. It has to be your primary residence. You can have a credit score as low as 580. You have to have current homeowners insurance. And if you do have a violation on your home, you have to be using this loan in order to repair that violation. We send what's called a housing advocate out to the home to take a look. So for instance, you want to upgrade your electrical system in your home. You want to go from what you have now to 220. You want to install central air. However, if the housing advocate comes out and sees that your roof is leaking, your roof is priority over that stuff, right? So you can use it for weatherization, any of those kinds of things like that. Rental improvement fund. If you are a small landlord is someone who owns no more than 5 structures, and a total of 15 units within those 5 structures, right? So you can own 5 triplexes, and that would be your 15 units. If you own 6 or more structures, you're considered an investor, not a small landlord. This loan is to help you keep the property healthy and safe for your tenants. So you can use it for weatherization. You can use it to put in a hardwired sprinkler system. Anything to keep the property healthy and safe is what this loan is for. You can borrow up to $100,000 per property. Okay. So again, high overview. I have flyers here at the table if you're interested in the rental improvement fund. There are some stipulations that go along with it, such as how much you increase the rent for the tenants and things of that nature. They do webinars every Thursday at 11 a.m. and every other Wednesday. In fact, I think they have one tonight at 6 p.m. If you're interested in that. And my shameless plug at the end of my presentation is PHDC, our annual housing fair is September 26th. On the campus of Temple University at the Star Complex. Everything housing is there. If you're looking for a mortgage lender, you want to get a home equity loan, you're looking for a contractor, you're looking for insurance, you're looking to talk to a realtor, you're looking to talk to any of the city-funded housing counseling agencies, the folks from the Register of Wills office. So any of these city services, the water department, all these folks will be there. We're looking to have over 100 exhibitors there for the day. So anything and everything is family friendly. So you can bring kids. We have lots of kids activities and lots of tape crafts and some great prizes and raffles. We want to thank our sponsor, Independence Blue Cross, who is the presenting sponsor of the PHDC annual housing fair. So that is it for my presentation. As I said, I'm doing a high overview. If you want more details about our programs and services, I'm over at the table over here. But right now, I'll take any questions that you may have. Right here.
I got 2. The first one, you said that the turnkey program that now is 20 years, you have to live in the house.
Yes, so the deed restriction is 20 years. If you need to move for whatever reason, you can sell it, but you have to pay back whatever that money was.
But it used to be 15 years.
Well, it's not anymore, it's 20. Such a big step. you're getting up to $75,000. So we don't want people trying to, do a quick sell.
I got you, but I understand you can't do 10.
Yes.
It used to be 15 years. Now they want to increase it to 20 years. Now, the other, levels that you're talking about, are they income based?
All the programs and services from PHDC are income based.
All
All of them. So the our maximum household income is somewhere around $85,000 for a household of one.
of them? You're right. I mean, and, you know, but we do have people that are poor in the middle. And it appears that, they don't have any type of thing.
Well, if you're looking to do a loan, you could try a traditional bank, but thank you for your.
Well, I think about traditional.
Yes,
But
okay.
I'm
Let me-
explaining.
I understand what you're saying, and unfortunately, it happens that way. I feel that way myself, but we want to give somebody else a chance to ask a question, but thank you.
More questions?
Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Right here. Thank you.
This is a tax rebate program.
For
Philadelphia.
So you would speak to the gentleman right over there. Yeah. Oh, OPA. Tax abatement or tax abatement, I'm sorry, tax abatement.
It went from,
Oh, that's over there.
You're talking, okay, go answer that.
Yeah, thank you. Over here.
Hi, good evening. I won my home through Philadelphia Housing Corporation many years ago.
Okay.
And recently I've been receiving letters stating that the insurance on the property has lapsed. As long as I've had that property, I knew about the insurance at the beginning, but I don't know if this is spam letters and calls that I'm getting.
So homeowners insurance is you, so if you don't have a mortgage anymore,
And I never have.
so after you paid for the home, did you get homeowners insurance?
I've always had it.
Oh, so I don't know what that could possibly be. As long as you know that you're in good standing with your insurance, to your fine. That's what I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I would suggest.
Check their insurance company.
Yeah, okay. I know it's not done. This is somebody that's saying
Yes,
it's expired at 32, I've been in my house 32 years.
yeah, just check with your insurance company. Thank you so much, everyone.
You remember the law. There's a lot of scams out here, right? My phone rings all day from scammers. So just, we want to be mindful. That's why we're bringing the information directly to you, so you know who to reach out to, who to call, when people, when, calling and saying, you don't have insurance, or to try to get you into some type of loan or something like that. You want to make sure you are always advised and you have representation. Again, to go back to what I said at the beginning, don't make these decisions alone. Reach out, there is help for whatever decision that you need to make regarding your finances and regarding your real estate in your home. Help is out there for you.
So for somebody who's not, it's not all the time financially feasible for people to hire an attorney, what would you suggest?
I would suggest going to some of our legal aid agencies that we have here in the city of Philadelphia. Again, they are income restricted, but we have community legal services. We have Philadelphia Legal Assistance. There are a number of other legal aid organizations that there's Christian legal advocates that are out there. Some of our law schools have departments that will help constituents as well with some of their legal issues. You can always call our office to help direct you to where those resources are and help you with your legal issues as well.
Is the senior law.
The Senior Law Center is good as well. There's a disability rights network that help out, and they help them for a couple of times. So there's a number of organizations that can help, and our office can help put you in that right direction.
Office in Cincinnati?
We're on Cecily Avenue. I'm able to also see the hall. Yes.
Okay.
You can give us a call too. You don't have to pop in. Just take out the information. Give us a call. Okay. Pop on in. Visit. The next presentation we're going to have is from the turnkey provider that PHDC talked about So we're going to have a representation from, a presentation from Shabetta Property Group, to talk to us about the turnkey program, and the details and the intricacies of that program, from someone who is building and selling these, workforce, houses. So let's please give them a round of applause. Thank you, Councilmember. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Happy to see everybody. Whenever I'm behind the pulpit with the microphone or podium with the microphone, the preacher's kid tends to pop out. So I'll be brief with you guys on this Wednesday. I'm going to echo some of the things that Shelby had just said about turning the key. But if you have any questions at all, please come and ask me after this. Also, I know it's supposed to be here. I have some little fan fans on my table there. If you steal a fan, please take one. It's hot in here. My name is Tony DeStefano. I work with Shabetta Property Group. I am a home buying advocate. My main role with Shabetta is to walk everybody through the turnkey program. That is what we do. Every lead of ours, every client of ours does the turnkey program. That is our main job. We buy our land directly from Philadelphia Land Bank. We build the homes ourselves. We sell them ourselves. We're basically a one-stop shop. And then we get you acquainted with counselors, with lenders. We provide you all that information with our partners here at the city to make everything as easy as possible and streamlined as possible. Getting into that though, who right now doesn't own a home, but you're in the market to own a home? You want to own a home, but you do not own a home right now? Raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody? You're our people. That's who we want to talk to you tonight. If you want to talk to us after this, please get some literature. Please get some information. I'm super happy to help you guys out. Also, when I'm done speaking, my partner in crime, Shakita, she has been through the program already. She bought her house last January. Yes, so she's going to come give a little testimonial today. She's a very great person to talk to with her experience with us. But Shabetta Property, what we do, we are a Philadelphia-based real estate developer in the city of Philadelphia, which aims to empower home buyers, realizing they're taking home ownership. We work with the Philadelphia workforce, right? It is affordable housing, so we work with the median income that is right now. So Shelby said it earlier, for a single person household, you're looking at anywhere underneath $86,000. So it's a very good threshold, and it obviously goes up with everybody there. Have more information on that after this. The turnkey program, as Shelby said earlier, when you go through the program, if you're a first-time home buyer, obviously you get that $10,000 from the city. If you work with turnkey, because our house is right now, everything is a flat rate of $280,000. So everything's going to get $75,000 when you get through that. So you get $85,000 right off the top. When you talk to different counselors, different agencies, they provide help, like she said as well. A lot of our lenders that we deal with too, especially if you have a better credit score, they go give you anywhere from a few thousand up to 10 to 15,000 extra too. So you get down to it sometimes. A lot of our people, a lot of our clients, they're buying a brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for under $200,000, and it's amazing. So we're not just helping out our community and our people, we're helping out the neighborhoods and building that up, because again, we don't want to alienate any of our community members in these neighborhoods. Most of the time in these neighborhoods we work in, our clients and our homeowners are from that neighborhood. We're not pushing anybody out. We're making them better, brand new homes. It's really, really nice. So that's the property, or that's that there. The steps are really easy. It's really 4 steps. It says 5, but the 5th step is moving into your house. So that's the exciting part. Step 1's pre-qualifying. I can go over those questions right now, but after this, please ask me. But I call people, ask you the same 5 questions. If you're a first-time home buyer, how do you live in your house? What's your income? Which, again, we do of all levels. So even if you're on a fixed income, if you're retired, disability, we work with you. It's totally fine. You have to do your taxes for the last 2 years. The last 2, so like 2026, 2025, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest hurdle. So please get your taxes done if you don't do those or you haven't done them. That's very important. And then look at your credit score. Same thing that Shelby said from the PHDC. It's anything over 580. So we're really realistic with that. If you're in the program or you talk to us and you're close with everything else and your credit's a little low, we help you. We work with you. We give you the advice, we counsel. We give you all the counselors there to talk to and help you out with that. So it's really good. Once you're pre-approved, you do the turnkey process. It's very simple. All you're doing is basically going through that, uploading all of your financial info, your tax info, your income info, bank statements. It's very basic. My job is to make that really easy. Like you can do it with me over the phone, email, text. You come to my office if you want to. I do not care. Sit at my desk and do it together. It's super easy. Once you're through that, though, they get you applied to a lender. Again, the lenders, we work with them all the time. They're very helpful. We work with people that try to give the most assistance to our people. So they're very used to us. But once you get pre-approved for that, we look at homes, we view the homes, we find the house that you want. and then you move in. It's a really good process. It's very easy. On average for us, the average time frame is 60 days. I would say if people who are really, really want it and it works out really well, they have the house that they want right away, 45 days. The longest is usually 90. And again, it's usually predicated. If it takes longer than that, it's because we're just missing some document or something has changed. But again, overall, it's a very easy process. So please, if you have any questions after this, ask that. Again, turnkey requirements, we're kind of like the income there. What else can I say? The houses, what comes with the houses, right? So they're single family homes. Right now, they're all priced $280. You'll see that's a flat rate. It's brand new construction. Everything is brand new. But down to the foundation, down to the concrete, down to everything there. 10-year tax abatement. I do have information at my table as well for that. I appreciate them being here too. So we're going to talk to you about that information there. Everything is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Most houses that I've seen do have basements. Some have a crawl space depending on where they're being built and things like that. But we also provide all the appliances too. Dishwasher, stove, refrigerator. Not washer and dryer every time. Sometimes. But it's a really great program. We've been in North Philadelphia West. We've been in Strawberry Mansion. We've been in Germantown. Right now, we're still in Germantown. I was just in West Philly last week. We're right off of like Carroll Park on the 56th Street side of things in West Philly. And then we're in the Mango too. So right above North Philly and then Point Breeze. So we have a really good market right now. Coming in a couple of months at the end of August, early September, we're looking at maybe like 60 plus homes going on the market. So a lot of things with you. A lot of exciting things popping up. So again, any questions, ask me. That is my time for you guys right now. We're in Chiquita. But again, please come by our table. Please say hello. Take some swag with you. But it's good to see everybody. Thanks for being here.
So I want to be very clear, this is the revaluation of community and not gentrification of community. Because that's the one thing that we all are scared of is when these buildings come in, it's normally not meant for us, it's meant for everybody else and it pushes us out. I was actually pushed back into North Philly.
Okay.
I'm a North Philly girl, born and bred into either the Jefferson Bloomberg projects. It is what it is. Never thought that home ownership belonged to me. I done moved all over the city. I lived in Germantown, I lived in Northeast, I lived in Mount Airy, and never nothing called home. And then the opportunity came back to come home.
Wow.
So I am now at 1056 Ward and one of the brand new homes. I have 1,900 square feet of land that belongs to me. My mortgage is $14.25 a month, but that's also including my insurance.
Okay.
My house is all electric, there is no gas, and I have water. My electric bill is about $130 a month because it's all electric, and my water bill is about $60 a month. And I'll say this again because I know Shelby wants to say this. No, okay. Because home ownership for Black women is not always a thing, right? It's not always a thing for Black and brown people, period. So for us to have opportunities at my young 47-year-old age, to have it is actually a blessing. I worked with city council at one point in time, and I always felt like I was either too high, too low, too much, too not. But to be in that space where it was just a grace period for me, and to have a home in 3 months after talking to one person, that meant so much more. So me having to fight PHA because I went through PHA, I was a Section 8 girl, and they didn't help. They didn't help me. 10 years paying all my rent. No one was there to help me go into a home buyer's program, but Turnkey was right there, and PHDC was right there, and Savannah was right there, and everybody held my hand. And that's the one thing that we don't get is hand holding, and sometimes we just need a hand to help. And I had 3 or 4 hands that helped me through the cross line. So if you have any questions, if you want to have your daughter, your son, somebody call me, I will willing to give them, to call me because I can tell you the real deal. And today, I'm not sure if y'all know what PHS is. It's the people that do the flower show. They named me one of the finalists for gardening today because my garden means so much to me and my land means so much to me. So please, if you know somebody, please let them know about what we do over here at Turnkey. Have a great day.
You too.
Jeffrey, I just have a question. I know things are taking question.
Sure.
My question is, I understand. I understand about the maternity. It used to be workforce house. When that first came about many years ago, we advocated for it. But my concern is this, not everyone can afford a maternity care, but you still want to remain in the city. Now, do the city have programs, and they used to have it, I don't know if it's still going on, where you can purchase a house and still be able to get the grant, to be able to get the $10,000 grant and be able to get the support. And for young people to go into how to repair their credit report.
So the first time home buyer grants are not just for turnkey homes.
Yes.
So you can, as long as you go through the city's housing counseling, you can apply for the first time home buyer grants through the city. It's not just for turnkey.
Okay.
If you're looking off for other properties as well, you can qualify for it.
Okay, so that's what's in here, because not everybody turn the keys on in certain areas, and then maybe someone that live
Yeah.
in the Northeast that turn the keys on.
And the next person I'm going to bring up for a brief presentation, may be able to help you find those grants and other financial resources that can help you out. So I'm going to bring up Ms. Desiree McDuffie, a realtor with Paul Banker. I think you remember Paul that should come up. We just learned about, the city's housing program. You learned about we talked to the developer that actually builds the homes. There's someone that can help you buy the homes, and look for other financial resources as well, as a real estate agent. And so again, this is Desiree McDuffie from Paul Banker.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Hi. Hey, I'm so excited to be here because this is truly my passion. I am speaking to the people that I got into this business to help. Just a little bit about me real fast. My background was in social services. I worked in social services for over 10 years. But I got a little burned out. And I prayed for God. I prayed to God to give me an opportunity to still be able to help people, and He put me in this business of real estate. So I'm extremely passionate about helping people that come from the community that I come from South Philadelphia. So the community in Philadelphia to be able to purchase homes. And as the young lady said, a lot of people, especially if they have lived in, public housing or, live with family or such, they don't think that home ownership is achievable, right? That's why I got into this business. I wanted to be able to help people to understand it is possible. And yes, there is a lot of grant money out here for first-time home buyers. I have a flyer on my table right now. Buyers can get up to $35,000 in grants. Not going through, I say nothing from the turnkey program. I think it's a wonderful program, but you don't need me to do that, right? Some people, not everyone wants to go through the turnkey program. If a person doesn't qualify for or doesn't want to purchase one of their houses, yes, you can still get grant money to purchase a home. And there are still a lot of affordable houses here as well. In the city of Philadelphia, I have clients that purchase houses for about $150,000. I just sold a house in East Germantown, move-in ready house. Not newly renovated, not brand new, but it's a nice house, $425,000. So there are still homes out here. Don't think that you have to spend a whole lot of money on buying a home. You do not, especially young people. I tell young people all the time, don't worry about what's going on social media and TikTok. Everybody buying these big old houses. Don't worry about it. Buy your starter home, all right? Start, buy a home that you can afford now, and then build up to that dream home that you want. But stop renting, because that's what you're doing. I'm a landlord. Guess what you're doing? You're paying my mortgage. So you're still paying mortgage. You're paying my mortgage, right? Or, your landlord's mortgage. So, and then he repairs, guess what? You're still paying for those repairs, right? Because because that landlord is putting money to the side from the money you're paying to make those repairs. So why not invest in yourself? Why not invest in your own property, especially as a young person, right? If you buy a house now, in 30 years, your house will be paid off. All you have to worry about is upkeep, taxes, and insurance. So buy now. Don't be one of the people, I hate to say it, that I get calls from in their 60s and 70s, and rent is too high, they can't afford the rent, they want a fixed income, and I can't help them. Because all they get is $800 a month in Social Security, and they never thought about buying a house when they were working. So now they're in a position where they have to refer them to other city services, or they have to live with family. So if you're thinking about buying a house right now is the time. Don't worry about these interest rates. These are normal interest rates. I promise you. In 2007, I bought a property, my interest rate was 7%. Interest rates here are normal. What was abnormal were the interest rates that we had in the 2000s. 3%, 2%, abnormal, right? Those people, they got lucky. Good. We happy for them. We don't want that to come back again. You know why? Because that came at a time of crisis within our country, right? We don't want that crisis again. So, and I don't think, I have never seen interest rates that low before. I don't think those will make down that low again without something catastrophic happening again. Okay, so buy now, you can always refinance into a lower interest rate later if that ever happens. All right. And the other thing that I wanted to address is the beautiful young lady she mentioned, right? About people that look like us buying houses. Right now, we are the number one buyers of homes. Black women are the number one buyers, single black women. Are the number one buyers of homes right now. So jump onto that track. We are setting that stage, and we are buying, we are creating and leaving that legacy for our children. So if anyone is interested in buying a house, I would absolutely love to be able to help any of you to be able, even if you have credit issues. I have a lender that will walk you through how to repair your credit. There's credit repair companies, I get it, but if we can do it for free, then let's do it for free. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, I'm over here. I'm just, I always forget to mention this. I have a radio show on Police Favor, 100.7 FM. It is it's on the gospel radio station at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Police Favor, 100% FM. If you want information moving forward about real estate, community services, finances, anything that will benefit you in the community, please tune in. Yes, ma'am. Help with what? What do you want to do? Yeah, so there are loans that, I mean, you have the city programs, right? But if you don't qualify for their programs, you can get a loan on your house. It's called a 203K renovation loan. So you can take a loan on your house. It's low interest, it's through FHA. And as long as your house has equity, enough equity to cover that loan, yes, you can get a low interest loan. If you want more information, I can get that to you as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were here, PHDC did their presentation, but the city has a loan program. It's called the Neighborhood Loan Preservation, Neighborhood Home Preservation Loan Program. That's up to $50,000 that you can borrow from the city if you have the correct credit score that they look for, and the interest rate's about 3%.
No, it's our.
Oh, restore, repair, renew. Yes.
Yeah, the interest rate is 3%.
So there are a number of programs you can look into, the 3K is a new program, and also the city's program as well. You want to, and the good thing about some of these things, if you have the equity, you can combine some of these programs too.
Yeah.
The equity involved.
And a lot of us still need to actually it is, but, my question is, that $10,000 grant, will that also come with self?
So it's to go towards down payment and or closing costs. Okay, because you can go towards your closing costs as well, depending on what's needed. Yes, ma'am. And you do that, there's a requirement for you to do a first time home buyer class through one of the housing and counseling agencies. Any other questions? No. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all see me if I take it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so you heard from some of the agencies that can help you get a house. Then we're going to hear from the agency that once you buy this house, it's going to tax you. For this house. So I want to bring up a representative from the Office of Revenue. That can talk to us about some of the programs that the city revenue department has for your taxes. So we're just busy around the applause. Don't go here. Your favorite topic, taxes. But as the lady was saying earlier, every dollar that goes into the taxes is always reinvested into the school district or the general fund and essential services. So every each of your dollars are definitely not the hands of the administration to reinvest that back into the community. But we also have programs. We administer one of the most affordability programs in the entire nation. We have over 6 programs to afford your taxes, specifically for your property, starting with the homestead exemption. This year, actually for the past 3 years, there's been an exemption of up to $1,400 discount directly on your taxes every year. It renews automatically. It doesn't matter if you purchased your home yesterday, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, you can get a homestead. Doesn't matter if you earn $10,000 a year or millions of dollars, everyone qualifies for it. It's a no-brainer, and if you're not enrolled yet, or you know someone who's not enrolled yet, it's really very easy to get on. I have paper applications on the table. We also have a bilingual website that people can apply. It's accessible by mobile, tablets, computers, libraries, whatever you get your information, you can get and apply and sign up for a homestead. We also have work for low-income families, medium-income families, individuals who have lived in their homes for over 10 years or more, and senior individuals over 65 years old. So whatever your case is, or your neighbors, your family, share the information. No one should lose their home because of tax debt or tax issues, or because they cannot afford it. We actually have a program called UPA for anyone who cannot afford the taxes. We can even put you on a $25 month payment plan, and if it takes you 30 years to pay it up, the city can't afford it. The city can wait 30 years for you to pay it up. So no one should lose their home. I don't want to ever hear people saying the city wants to price me out, kick me out. Because LUPA is one of the programs that will protect you and keep you on your home, even if you cannot afford to make a single dollar payment. So whatever your situation is, share the information. Don't keep it to yourself. Ensure that people are aware of the programs and the information that we have. And just let's help everyone stay in their home. Thank you. Any questions? Sure.
The 10-year abatement, I thought the city got rid of it or they resisted it. So the 10-year abatement is in place again.
No,
It never got.
no, it's a scale down version.
That's what it's still there.
It is still happening like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's for new developments or rehabilitated properties, and it's administered by OPA. But it's scaled down, it's like at the first year, they get 100% abatement, second year, 90%, 80%, and by year 9, all they get is a 10% abatement. And it's only abating the property or the improvement or the livable space. The land is not abated. They always have to pay taxes on the land that the property is sitting on. So they're paying something. Yes.
I was wondering about our loan programs, and I know this is starting to up, a little bit up the cheap.
Or which program?
But
That your taxes started to increase?
Because
Yeah.
it is going in.
So the abatement starts to gradually reduce. That means that your bill starts to gradually increase. So you start on a very low bill, and from a low bill, you start to pay more and more every year until it weighs on. Huh? I can hear. So
It started like 8 or 9 $900.
started like at $8,900. Now it's going up to $1,200.
that could be like an assessment, right? So that could be because your property assessment is going up. The value of your property is rising. So that's why your property tax bill is going up. That could be one. But you do have a representative from OPA actually coming up next that can help, talk about what your property assessment is and those type of, initiatives out there.
And anyone involved in an abatement and, our colleague from OPA can attest to this, many homeowners has noticed that at some point, year 5, year 7, year 8, Homestead becomes a better deal. So Homestead is a straight discount. It's always gonna be $1,400. So if at some point Homestead becomes a better deal, you can choose to drop your abatement in year 7, mid-year, almost at the end, and enroll in Homestead. The most important thing is you do it at a certain point where you ensure that you don't lose either of the benefit and you don't have a lead year between your bills. So you do want to like consult with an expert or look at it, but but your income is not going up. So that what is the income, but then because that's going up, so it's making a little bit harder. You get a certain amount of money a month.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like our tax, your real estate taxes are not based on how much you make. It's based on the value of what the city sees the value of your property is. Now, there are programs that are out there, that can help you, if you are lower income. There's a low income tax freeze. So if you are a certain income, your tax will be frozen at that level. And if you are also a senior, at a certain income, your taxes can be frozen, at that level.
Is that inevitable?
It'll be frozen for, yeah, it'll be frozen.
What I'm now is that's because I don't get a certain amount of money a month.
So,
We're single, we're what was that? It's not part.
yeah, yeah. So he knows the numbers and he can explain those numbers.
For a single person, it's $33,500 a year. It's for low income. And if you're familiar with the basement program, it's a pharmaceutical program at state level. That's where we gather our income guidelines from. So it's come from the state. For a married couple, 2 spouses, it's $41,500 a year. One person, $33,500 a year.
And so those programs that the freezes are based on state programs. We in the city don't have the ability to choose our own number on where we want to have for some of these programs. So we have to base it off of a program that already exists in the state, and this city chooses to pace that program. But I do think there are other programs that the state have that we can use to increase that number, like the state rent rebate program that has a higher number. So we're going to be looking, something we're going to be looking into this session when council comes back is how we can use another program to help increase that, what that number can be, or the income number can be for those freeze programs.
Outside of that, it's looking at how to now. Now, I didn't understand why. If it's super for seniors, I'm on a certain day, I was hoping to see the side.
So I would direct you to your state representative or state senate office that can help you with that. Yes, I'm the PI's officer, Progress Plaza. That's right. Yep. Do we have any other questions for Reverend?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Lisa White. Thank you. And I was just wondering, are there going to be any programs for reading that around here? It's a flood zone area. We just had a real bad flood in our basement. A lot of our things was. So is it any kind of program that y'all might, help us with, because it is so bad. The thing was pushing up, really, really bad. It's my day. They should have taken it.
Yeah.
The mayor.
Yeah, the home rep.
Yeah.
Well, yes, yes, sewage is going up in our basement.
Really bad.
Thank you for that question. So through the mayor's home program, there is a program that the city is working on right now regarding like the insurance, essentially, right? That would help mitigate that. So you would have to have that type of insurance that would cover those type of damages. But there's a loan insurance program that the city is looking into as part of the home initiative by the mayor. And we're going to see what types of insurance could be regulated. Like we do have the city participates in the insurance program for the water ladders and things like that. If you have any damages to your board members out front. I think that program is like $10 to $15 a month insurance program for that. So we're looking at some other insurances that be helpful to our homeowners in the city of Philadelphia.
Can the city help with this?
Not with this, no program existing right now for that. You know, that's a homeowner. That's one of the things we have to take into consideration, when we become a homeowner. But the city is looking to get that insurance program that can help you kind of pay for those damages when they occur.
Okay, so it's either every agency.
No, that will be through revenue. That would probably be through, the Office of Housing and Community Development, who oversees, the home, initiative. But if you can kind of reach out to our office, we can provide you with all that information that you need to contact those folks. All right.
Jeffrey, many years ago, I think it was this year, they have a street underneath. And it's in the fronts with the drains. And the city at one time, especially over there around, right on the Boulevard, when they tore down all the towns, because they had the same issue where the debris frost felt we had March rain.
Yeah, that's why the city had to tear them down because you can't get too far.
Yeah, and sitting back, I hope that you have any instructions.
Yeah, so that's why the city tore those down because it was getting too costly at that time. That's one of the reasons why. And so I just want to mention that of all the programs that were mentioned through revenue department, the homestead, the loop program, the tax freezes. And this past spring, my office introduced and passed legislation that would allow property owners who have their properties in a trust to qualify for these same programs as well. Because prior to, if you had your property in some type of trust, for estate planning purposes, you were not able to benefit from these programs that the city had. But my office, I introduced legislation to change that. So now we can benefit from these tax savings programs and have proper estate planning as well. So we can maintain our generational wealth as well. Yes, yes. So,
Even if you have time to type.
yeah, even if you have taken title, you can still qualify for these programs. If the properties are not in your name, but you're working on getting that title, getting that deed in your name. We do have the registered wills there that can help you with that. The registered wills has a program that helps constituents and residents deal with taking title issues and from the title clearance unit that we have there. It's a great program funded by City Council that allows residents to go through that process without having to spend thousands of dollars on an attorney. They can help you walk through that process of getting that title in your name. If you do live in a property that you've inherited from the area. And so our next presentation, we're going to bring up a representative from the Office of Property Assessment and give us a quick 5-minute presentation to talk about property assessment. So what happens typically is that you are taxed on what the city determines the value of your property is. Right? And it's supposed to be based on what you can sell your property for. Now I'm going to tell you, if you think your assessed value is too high, file an appeal. Always file an appeal, at least to get that first level of review, to get a different set of eyes on your property. Because one thing I say is, OPA, for the most part, do not come in your house to assess what your property looks like. So they don't know you still have, the tub with the iron feet on it, right? They don't know that. They don't still have the tub with the button on there, right? They don't think of the toilet button on there. They don't know that, right? So I always encourage people to follow that first level of review in order to make sure that you are saving, make sure you're not being over-taxed in your community. Because sometimes, even on the same lot, properties are taxed differently. The same size lot, the same house, it happens. But we want to make sure you get a second set of eyes to make sure you are paying your fair share of taxes. We don't want you paying more than you need to pay, but we do need you to pay your fair share of taxes. So we want to make sure that you are qualified for all the programs that are out there. So with that, thank you to the Office of Property Assessment. Let's give a round of applause, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is James Harris. I'm the Chief Assessment Officer for the Office of Property Assessment of the City of Philadelphia. Thank you for the invite to be here tonight. I'm trying to be brief, so if I go too fast, everything I mentioned here is our screen. We have handouts over there. You can get all the information, numbers, websites, grab a handout at our table over here. So you don't necessarily keep up with writing everything new. But as the council member mentioned, our job as a city agency of the OPA is to estimate the fair market value for all real property in the city of Philadelphia. So that's every piece of real property, whether it's a single family row home, city hall itself, a school, or a vacant lot. It's our job to estimate what that property will sell for on the open market. Some of the other things that our office does, we heard a question about abatements. So we do manage the application and we manage the applications for abatements as well as applying the abatements to properties in the city's tax abatement program. We do handle some exemptions such as nonprofit organizations or houses of worship, 501c3 organizations that are applying to be exempt from real estate taxes. We do manage those exemptions as well. We respond to concerns about market value. So the first level review form that the council member mentioned, we do that review. And although we don't hear the formal appeals to the Board of Division of Taxes, we are part of that process as well in reviewing the data if you choose to file an appeal with the board. And then the last main duty that we have is we're actually the city's official addressing authority. So if you are taking a large property, carve it up into 10 new properties, or take 2 properties and then one, we're the agency that comes to get the official address from the city moving forward. So a couple of things that have been mentioned already that we don't do. Our office does not set tax rates. That's done through the budget process with the council, city council, and mayor. Revenue sends out the bills and administers new homestead and low income tax programs. We are not the city agency for determining the legal ownership of the property, of a property. That is Department of Records. So all that touches our office in one way or another, but we are the office that manages those things that I mentioned. So for folks, hopefully, if you're a homeowner, recently we sent out our notices of change in assessment for tax year 2027. So if you're a property owner, you would receive that about a month ago, or at least in the last few weeks. There is a handout here. We have the table that explains what's on that notice if folks have any questions about that. But in that packet, there was the notice of valuation, which is not a tax bill. It's just telling you what your valuation was last year and what our estimated value is for tax year 2027. The cover letter explaining your appeal options if you disagree with the value, which we'll get into in a second, and a pre-printed first level review form that should have your name, the property address, and the barcode associated with that. When I talk about the first level review form in a second, I'll talk a little bit more about that. If you did not get a notice, or if you want to find what information the city has on record about your property, you can go to property.phila.gov. That's all the information I have over here, so you don't have to worry about writing that down, grab a handout. But that's the city's property data website. It includes more than just OPA information. You pull stuff from L&I, from streets, from revenue and other stuff. So go on there and take a look at the information that we have on your property, and the value information will be on there if you did not get a notice. Because potentially you might have not received a notice because your value did not change. There is a small percentage of properties that did not change in this revaluation. So if your value did not change, you don't get a change of valuation notice from us. But if you go on the website, you'll be able to see, compare 2027 to 2026 in previous years, just to make sure that the value is staying the same. And then if you see a change there, but you did not give a notice, you can call or email and ask for a first level review form. I have blank first level forms over there as well. Check to make sure if we have a mailing address on file for you, if there's a discrepancy with that, we can get that updated. Also, I found out talking to somebody today that the postal service just didn't deliver their notice. They got it now. They'll say, this is the mail I'm getting today, and the notice was on there, and they never got their mail that day. So it's possible that the postal service just didn't deliver your client. You can go on the website at any time and see what your values are and make a comparison if you don't get that piece of mail coming out. So for the first level review, which the council member mentioned, it's this form here, we have it over there. So if you disagree with your new value, this is one of the options you have to contest the value and ask for the city to do a review. So we recommend that you use the one that came with your notice because it's got your name and address already on the barcode. It makes scanning it and input real easy. But if you don't have that or you didn't get one, you can get a blank one and fill this information out. What we always advise folks is if you have an idea of what you think your property is worth, absolutely put that on there. But then tell us anything and everything that you think is relevant about the property and its value. So you can describe it and talk about all the things that the council member mentioned. If you think that's relevant. If you recently purchased a property or did refinance and you have an appraisal that comes in with a value that's different than what we have on it, you can submit that, you can submit pictures. You can write up here that you want us to come out to take a look at the property. The council member is absolutely correct. We don't get into most properties. We don't have the ability to demand that we come in, and most folks don't ask us to come in, quite frankly, which is fine. They're private businesses, we don't have to come in. But this is your chance to show us what we might have wrong in our records and go in, and if we correct that, it could result in a change of that. Now, this process can have one of three results. We can review and say the value stays the same. We can review and say that you're right, the value should be reduced. We can review and say the value is going up. I don't say that to scare anybody, but it's a reality because one of the things that isn't really helpful for us is this, we've had people send in appraisals, which is an outside estimate that is higher than our assessed value, but they've written on the FLR form, I don't want to pay any more taxes. But they tell us whether property that we actually undervalue the property. It doesn't happen that much, but it has happened. So just be, you don't need to know exactly what you think the property might be worth, but if you think it's worth more than what we have on it, I would advise not filing for the FLR because anything you tell us, we do have to take into consideration. And that's the same process with the BRT. 99.9% of properties don't see an increase, but just want to make sure folks understand that it's not a free roll that says, well, if you don't think them down or stay the same. But please tell us everything about the property. And that is, so the deadline to file this particular form, the first level review, is September 1st. There is an additional option, which is the formal appeal with the Board of Revision of Taxes, which is an independent agency aside from OPA. Their filing deadline is October 5th. You can file both the first level review and the BRT appeal if you want, as long as you meet both deadlines. So you can file both at the same time, one before the other, it's up to you, but as long as you meet both deadlines, you can file for both if you want. And then one last thing I just want to mention that I think it's very important that the council members said, because I got this question tonight from one of the folks here. So I said, well, if I don't want to line the city says my property is worth this, that's where I should tell somebody they should pay them to buy the property, right? So for us, it's an estimate of value for a very specific reason. What we always tell folks is we wish every property was perfect, but if you were going to go in the market to sell your home, contact a real estate professional, get representation, talk to the folks that are doing this every day. If somebody knocks on your door to back of money and says, the city says your property is worth this, I'll give you cash right now. Take a beat, take a breath, contact a real estate professional, because our values are projecting into the future. We have to cut off our data analysis to some point. If there are 4 houses on your block that sold for more than our assessment is, you should be asking for that at the very least. So don't take our value as the gospel, and contact a real estate professional and make sure that they give you, because they'll do everything they can to make sure you get the highest value possible for that. So it's our value is a piece of information you can use in that process, but please just don't take that as the only gauge to determine what your property value is worth if you go soon. I'll cut it off there. If folks have questions.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to. How often do the city do this reevaluation of the assessment?
So before the pandemic, we were doing some form of revaluation pretty much every year, starting with tax year 2014. and that was through tax year 2020. 6 out of those 7 years, we did some form of revaluation. We had to pause during the pandemic. When we started again after the pandemic, we've been doing it every 2 years. And we expect that's the frequency that will likely be on for the next 2 years.
Well, I want to make a suggestion to Jeffrey that should change to maybe every 5 years.
Well, it's not the state requirement. Yeah, it's going to, it will be though. It's coming, it's here down the road. No, it's been more frequent than that probably. So,
Well, it's frequent.
the thing with, for doing that every 5 years as an example. If the real estate market in Philadelphia, in certain neighborhoods in 5 years goes up, in some areas it goes up 100, 200, 300%. So, that's, people see assessment changes that large and they're saying that can't be possible. So if we do need them more frequently, then any increases are more gradual.
Well, my question, the second question is this. If you reduce, I did get a reduction, which I was happy to but you reduce, and there's no change. And then next year when you do your evaluation, and you increase it. I mean, once you reduce it, it seems like you're locked in.
So in that case, if there's a reduction, the value will be locked in until the next time we do a round of evaluations. Each round of evaluations uses newer data that has been gathered since the last time. So for instance, if you filed an appeal for tax year 2025, that would be a certain set of sales and use. If you file this for 2027, we'll have an additional 2 years worth of sales, and that's going to be an influence. Let me just give you an example of why we have to do that. If you file an appeal and say, there's 10 homes on the block, we're all the same, I'm higher than the rest, I should be at this value. We agree with you. We put you the same with the rest of your neighbors. Now we do evaluation. If your neighbors change because the market's changing, but you don't, they're going to look at you and say, that's unfair. That should change too. So in some cases, the reduction is to put you with the neighbors to be uniform. And then as we do revaluations, we have to maintain that uniformity with law. That's not the case in every reduction, but that's just one example of why we can't just increase a value indefinitely if there's a reduction or an adjustment to a value.
My final question to you is this. Are you allowed to ask the question, what did you use to your comparison? Because I've heard comparison has been like 2-3 blocks away to when you did evaluate someone's property to increase it. Are you allowed to give that data out so we can get that? I can go to that house and maybe have an appraiser through that house. But you don't give that information on how.
Yeah, so it could be, so we have 5 years worth of sales that we use in time adjust. So there's literally thousands of sales throughout the city. So your property could have been in a bucket of hundreds of sales depending on the neighborhood, or it could be even smaller. So if you file an appeal, file the FLR, you can certainly request, and we would respond to any of those with comparable sales to say this is what we're using to estimate the value of your property.
And you give that.
What's that?
It'll be multiple addresses.
It's not just one sale. We don't base the property values on one sale. One sale is not. We make a market, so we have to be more than a few.
This is property assessment. You're speaking for like some work to be done. Yeah, that's not this office of property assessment. They don't do like construction work and things like that. That's the All right, so we have any other questions for the Office of Property Assessment? With that, remember, if you think your property taxes are too high, file that first level review. The deadline is September 1st. The deadline for to file your actual appeal is October 1st. Most likely, City Council is going to push that deadline back a little bit to give people some more time to file those appeals. Make sure you file an appeal if you disagree with your property tax assessment. And the next presentation we're going to bring up for a quick few minutes is going to be the Department of Licensing and Inspection. When you have that nuisance waiver, Sorry if you are recording, if you could like slow your voice a little bit to a whisper so we can all hear. We appreciate that, you know, your conversations. We are bringing up the Department of License and Inspection. We have that nuisance neighbor, that is just won't cut their grass, certain things. You can call LNI and they'll come right out to different situation. So let's get the representative of LNI around the floor.
I'm being real basic, I mean, everybody, you know, kind of in a sense knows what L and I does. One thing that, you know, a lot of people get confused on is we are mostly complaint driven. There are some programs that they have, some out, you know, some business compliance programs, some, you know, fire programs that they do. But mostly we are complaint driven. So, you know, when we get it, we try to address it. Right now, our service level agreement is like 21 days, but that's changing to 45 days because we just have so much in demand. But we're working on that. So we're trying to get some more inspectors and we have a couple training classes coming in so that we can address it. There are two sides, and you know we split. There's the ISC side, which handles the construction, and then once it's built and it's occupied, then that falls to the quality of life side, which I do. And it's kind of like code enforcement. So we handle the fire safety and the complaints and stuff. So when it's the type of complaint like the councilman said, for the neighbor with trash and weeds and, you know, roommate houses, which are a big thing, and now the big bugaboo, the short-term rentals that are popping up, that are becoming an issue. You know, we're handling those complaints as they come in. So, I mean, like I said, it's a brief thing for me because, you know, kind of everybody knows what we do. So we'll get right to the questions.
Y'all don't get our tips the grass too high, but I see a lot of seniors can't cut their grass, but I sure can't cut mine. Because these guys come by and they cut it cover, but they don't come by because I'm supposed to. So I can't recover.
Okay, so on that then, the issue with that is, once again, we're complaint driven. So I may not know that you're a senior, but the neighbor or someone else is calling us to this. And then we also had the mayor's project. You know, when we were going through, and that's actually a project that we had. We were going through the clean streets, that clean streets program, and so that's where a lot of stuff came from. But you know, with that, everything that we do, we have an ability to appeal. It goes before our licensing inspection review board, and they decide whether that violation was good or not.
I took some, I waited all day,
But that's not us. That's the street department. Yes. We were just, you know, we were just handling complaints that were issued for grass and things like that. That's what that program is. Yes, yes, Mayor.
Yes, my question is, they said they want to come and do my street. So they were saying something about the street is going to stay open until years. So we faced them rats, my God, whatever else we're going to be doing about it. And the house is like right there and it's like, the city is,
Talk about a construction project.
yeah, I don't know when this is going to take place.
Was it a construction project for the street or?
I mean, but we got
Okay, so that would be on the street. That would be
is it gonna be that long? We're talking about here, so 2027, 2028. And this, they have to do for the pipe, just wanna,
Yes.
oh my God.
So I can answer that question. So we live in a very, very old city, right? I just took some kids to City Hall today to go to the top of City Hall. And City Hall was built 111 years ago, right? And that building still kicking. So we live in a very old city. And our infrastructure has to be improved in order to meet the needs of the 21st century. We got, you know, we're using a lot more utilities and a lot more technology now. People are, you know, the land use is changing. So we want to make sure the types of pipes that we use are changing, right? So we want to make sure we update the infrastructure in our city to be the 21st century city that it is, to prevent some of these, some of the water main breaks that happen throughout the city often. And so by changing the infrastructure, that helps us with that preventive maintenance. And yes, it does take time, but we want to make sure that it's an improvement, it's an investment in our city's future. So if there are issues that they're having with the infrastructure improvements, we always actually reach out to our office so we can talk to the appropriate department that's handling that, whether it's BGW, whether it's the water department, whether it's sometimes it get me, whether the cable utilities as well, that are digging up the street. We are receptive, right? We want to make sure that they're held accountable to make sure that they do things in a timely manner as well, that things aren't just sitting, and that you are fully aware of what's happening. So we always encourage you to please reach out to our office with those questions like that.
So is it really gonna, take that long?
But that's the estimate that they provide, but they want to have enough time to do it because it does take long to go. It may not be on your street for 2 years, right? But the program itself for the community, for the neighborhood, may take a total of about 2 years to complete. Yeah. Parking is not a right, right? So we live in a city. It's a thing that we have to deal with. We want to make sure.
So my car got flooded, so I'm like, what's street for the flood? I think my car is towed. I think my car.
I hear that, and I want to make sure that there are options available. But we have to in the city. We got to share this. We have to share this and understand that if we're going to live there. There are certain things that come with living in the city. All over the city, parking is an issue. No matter where you at, all over the city.
Which is my so things. People from 6th Street, Randolph Street, 5th Street, everybody was parking.
So one thing to mitigate that is to give residential permit parking. Now, I know some people don't like to say, oh, we gotta pay for parking, but if you want to keep people who aren't, do not have a permit from living on your block, that's how you do it. And everyone that says that it is true that if everyone has that same permit number, they can park on your block. But this is the way to do it because we don't have private parking in the city. Like you don't own the parking space in front of your house. All right, so there any more questions for Ellen? One more question? We'll come back here.
Hello, I got a question for, like people who have like gardens, that's attracting like rodents, like visiting, like not around like what type of garden they can have and like homes.
Well, it all depends on like what we have our code and it covers whether it's supposed to be in plan or whether it's weeds, things like that. So the thing is the inspector would have to get out there and see
It's quite bad.
what it actually is. Like if it's just like a makeshift garden and it's actually an issue where it's causing an issue, then it may be something that we can write. But for the most part, like if it's highways or something like that, that's our area right there. But if it's a vacant lot, like, generally will fall to flips, but it's actually the person garden in there. It's in the yard. It's in the yard. Okay, yes. You put it in the complaint. And the big thing is, put it in the complaint, is allowing access. Because you have to get an inspector to see. So a lot of times people call in and I'm all for anonymous. But anonymous isn't going to get the answer there because the person who's complaining, they're going to be like, okay, you're not coming to here. So, the big part is to have access, leave a number. Once you put that complaint in, call the office. I think in this area it's East District. And call East District and find out who the inspector is. That's the big way to get your complaint in. Call the office and find out who the inspector is. Talk to your inspector because like for me, the person that's calling has a vested interest. So if you have a vested interest, it's not saying that we don't care about the complaints. If you have a vested interest, I got to address you and I got to get it done. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Thank you. So we got one more presentation. We can get your question answered. We want to make sure that you're there. So 311, you can call 311, but we also encourage you to call our office directly. He just mentioned call the inspectors directly, right? That's how you get your complaint handled in a quicker manner. Give us a call. We can follow through for you when you have these complaints. Just to note as well, we just had representatives from the water department who are here as well. The water department also has programs that you can apply for your assistance for your payment with your water bill as well. We also have a representative from the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations in the back. So once you call LNI with your neighbor, you ever get into a dispute, you can call the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations to help kind of mitigate that dispute and other things that happen. They also have fair housing complaints. So if there's an issue with your landlord, the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations handles those complaints. If there's an issue with your employer, the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations handles those additional complaints as well. So please stop at their table, get that information. And we do have one more final speaker for 2 minutes to talk to you about what the Register of Wills does, which is a very, very important agency in our city that handles our affairs after we pass on. We want to make sure we have our affairs in order, and the Register of Wills is that agency where folks go to handle our affairs once we depart this room. So I want to bring former state representative up here to give us some information on the Register of Wills. Let's give a round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Councilmember. Let's hear it from Councilmember. Hey, Young. Councilmember, I think as I was listening back and listening, I came here to offer resources. But as I've come to events like this, I learned so much from so many people that are here. We had a whole host of representatives today. So let's hear it from all the other representatives that was here today. All. I learned that from being a state rep. How you do some house things. It's important. But as far as Councilmember Jeffery Young, I was there again last night, and he did an excellent job. You think he had right? I think he did an excellent job of sharing information, and he takes his time to do it because he wants to empower you, our community. Because for years and years, we have been overlooked. We are the last ones to get real good information, and it's unfair, but it's a reality. And Jeffery Young recognizes that, and he has stepped up to make sure that his community in the 5th Councilmember District is not left behind. So thank you. Let me the attorney too, but thank you. I'm here for the Register of Wills. This is something that we get left out of a lot of times too. Dude, how many of you have ever heard of a tangle title? How many of you heard of a tangle title? Tangle titles are properties that someone who owned the property died and did not have a will. And so there was no real way of determining who should be the one that should get that property after that person passed away. So if they had a will, they would have left behind an executor, someone or a secretary who would handle that property. And so that it could be, so your affairs and your generational wealth don't get lost. We do that a lot of times. We have about 11,000 tangle titles in the city of Philadelphia. And I'm telling you, the zip codes that those tangle titles are entitled in zip codes where a lot of people populate that look like the majority of people in this book right now. It's not fair, it ain't right, but at the Register of Wills, John Sabatini decided that he was going to put together what he called a title clearance unit. This unit is run by a legal lady by the name of H.M. Williams. She has been excellent, and not just accepting the information that we bring in, but untangling that title until it's free and clear so that people can now inherit the generational wealth that should have been left in your name in the first place, but because people didn't do it, you didn't have it, but we have a way of resolving that. We also you have to go to, when a person dies, you have to go through what's called probate. How many of you heard probate? How many of you have had to handle a death and had to go down to probate? Well, you go down to the registry, goes to probate. How many of you need a legal attorney? You know you might have a trust. Now, because of the legislation that Councilmember Young has been able to move through council and get it signed into law, now with you used to, if you had a trust, a lot of the city programs you didn't qualify for it. Because it needed to be in a will and then you could qualify for it. But the trust exempt you from that. He decided that it's not fair and he did something to make it so that you can have your property in the trust and still get the same city benefits. But it's dependent on something.
There are different types of trust out there. So the city will make a determination on if your trust, if you're acting as the beneficiary in that trust, if you're really using that property as your homestead. So they have to make a determination that you're living in that property, it's your primary residence, and you're the beneficiary of that trust. They'll take a look at the document itself and see what it says. But ultimately, if it's a revocable trust, you should be able to qualify for these programs.
Thank you. And that's why I was a council. Decided that this was something that needed to be fixed and you fixed it. Thank you, council. So listen, we have a table over there. We have some giveaways, phone number, lip balm. If you want some lip balm, it's nice. We got that goes maybe to it. Okay. Listen, lip balm. They got pens over there, and we have the letters over there. I'm not gonna take more of the time, but thank you, Councilmember Jeffery Young Jr. Thank you.
Let's give it up for the register, y'all. So we hear that out. At 8 o'clock, I want to thank you all for coming out this evening. Your presence means a lot. You showing up here today, he said you care about your community, you care about yourself, and you want the resources you need to help improve your life. My job as a city councilman is to do just that, to help improve your life each and every day in any way possible. That is my only job as your city council member. And as your city council member, I'm going to continue to do that as long as you allow me to. So thank you again for showing up today.